This is something that I see as very deeply problematic for her argument that there is no diversity jurisdiction.
A viral YouTube video by Andrea Burkhart, an experienced trial and appellate litigator, has been gaining traction on social media because it gave all the reasons and facts on why Amber won't be allowed to buy more time in court and that the court will have move ahead with the lawsuit. Andrea made one thing clear: Amber is not stateless, she is homeless, which means she is not allowed to use statelessness as a motion to postpone or cancel her case. She is a citizen of the United States, and unless she comes from New York, where New York Marine is stationed, she is liable to undergo her trial. In the ongoing case between Amber Heard, New York Marine, and General Insurance Co., a new filing was made on behalf of Heard by attorneys at Travelers Commercial Insurance on November 1st, 2022. Amber Heard has been declared stateless as her lawyers attempt to halt depositions in a civil dispute between her and two insurance companies. Amber's attorney cited the fact that since the case is under federal court with the diversity jurisdiction statute, it applies on citizens of other states or foreign states, but since Amber is currently homeless, it does not apply to her. The filing states that Amber Heard is a United States citizen, but has no domicile in any state and therefore she is stateless. The attorney said that since Heard was not a resident of the United States when the New York Marine sued her in July 2022 and still doesn't own a home, the court lacks jurisdiction to move ahead with the lawsuit. Heard's attorneys at Travelers stated that the continued prosecution of these actions is prejudicial to Heard's defense. Travelers also requested that a hearing that was originally scheduled for November 3rd be moved to December 1st or another convenient date. Now, New York Marine countered whether Amber Heard was actually a non-resident of the United States at the time the Marines sued her, claiming they hadn't been given any proof to that effect. Also, they do not want their scheduled depositions to be postponed, because according to them, Heard's attorneys did not address the issue at the time the depositions were scheduled. New York Marine claims that they sued her before the media started posting on social media that she had sold her house, and also by the final sale of her house they had sued her, which means that she became homeless after being sued. According to the public, New York Marine should also counter Heard's team by reminding them that Amber is not really stateless but rather homeless. If she doesn't own a permanent resident but still has a citizenship from a particular state, it means that she is homeless, not stateless. Amber Heard reportedly does not own any properties in the United States and is therefore legally homeless and stateless. According to the U.S. Department of State's website, a stateless person is someone who, under national laws, does not enjoy citizenship, the legal bond between a government and an individual, in any country. Effectively, the claim puts forth that as she is no longer a resident of the country, the U.S. courts do not have the jurisdiction to sue her. Now, to be stateless, one does not enjoy citizenship in any country, but apparently Amber is a United States citizen with no domicile or no residency in any states. This flat out makes her homeless, not stateless, and therefore her motion carries no weight in her argument. Amber used the internet to tell the public that she had sold her residence in Yucca Valley, California in July. The house was sold for nearly $1.1 million, which was almost double the amount that Heard bought it for in 2019. Amber Heard is currently renting a house in the village of Costatex in Mallorca, Spain, and has been spotted with her partner, Bianca Buddy, and daughter, Unod Page Heard. Netizens have pointed out that not owning a home is not adequate ground for exemption and that she can be sued in absentia. As per the verdict in June 2022, Heard owes $10 million to Johnny Depp as the jury found her to have made false and defamatory statements with actual malice. Also, the Depp-Heard case racked up over $8 million in legal fees and expenses. The issue with the abundant money that Amber used and owes was the main reason for the lawsuit. The dispute between Amber Heard, New York Marine, and Travelers Commercial Insurance involves settling who is liable to pay whom. Amber Heard relied on her insurance providers, New York Marine and Travelers Commercial Insurance, to pay part of the damages as per their liability insurance policy. New York Marine, however, claimed that they were not duty-bound to follow through on the policy as the liability was caused by willful acts by Heard. The insurance company had written a policy for Heard in 2019. The insurance company said in its complaint that the plaintiff contends it has no duty to defend Heard based on California Insurance Code 533. The state code provides that an insurer is not liable for a loss caused by the willful act of the insured. The lawsuit said, the first lawsuit was filed by Travelers against New York Marine in 2021, claiming that the latter had neglected to reimburse Travelers for half of the attorney's fees, costs, and expenses of defending their mutual insured in the Depp case, which left Travelers bearing an inequitable portion of the defense. Travelers said that New York Marines should have to pay at least half of the defense costs. According to the complaint, the homeowner's policy Travelers issued to Heard in 2018 includes covered or potentially covered damages because of defamation, and promised a defense to any lawsuit seeking such damages. In a counterclaim, New York Marine argued that it is not liable to pay Travelers because Cameron McAvoy, the attorney the company wanted Heard to hire, stopped representing her in November 2020 and was not present at the trial. In In July 2022, New York Marine filed a second lawsuit against Amber Heard in federal court, seeking to avoid having to pay Heard after her unsuccessful defense of a defamation lawsuit brought by her ex-husband, Johnny Depp. The insurance company said in the lawsuit that it doesn't believe it has an ongoing obligation to defend Heard. New York Marine said in its complaint, an actual controversy has arisen and now exists between plaintiff on the one hand and Heard on the other hand, with regard to the duties and obligations owed between plaintiff and Heard under the policy with respect to indemnity for her actions in the Depp case. Another insurance company, Travelers Commercial Insurance, has spent and continues to spend substantial sums for Heard's defense under a homeowner's insurance policy it provided in 2018, according to court filings. It is now pursuing New York Marine for its share of the costs. New York Marine said it had initially advised Heard it would provide a legal defense, but under California law, it did not have to provide an indemnity for her actions. The jury's factual findings established that Heard's liability is caused by the willful acts of Heard, which means they are not expected to help Amber pay anything. New York Marine and General Insurance Co.'s suit said, at issue is whether New York Marine is liable for costs associated with an independently appointed defense counsel for Heard versus one appointed by the insurance company, and whether New York Marine will be liable for any award made against Heard. A fan tweeted, "How can she have a kid by surrogate and be stateless, homeless? What about a mailing address? Thanks. I live in Canada and here people get a baby bonus and family allowance. Does anywhere other than Canada have social workers anymore? How can celebs do so much and still have custody of their kids?" This fan has a point though. Amber has a baby, so if Amber is stateless or homeless, to be exact, so is her baby. Doesn't she want her child to find some peace and a place to call home? Or is she focused so much on the money that she has forgotten she has a child's future in her hands? Another fan tweeted, "I'm so confused by this stateless argument. Won't she still hold a US passport? And if not, her visa in Spain would be void. If she has a passport, she's not stateless. Choosing not to return to US and being classified as stateless are two completely different things. Surely, yeah, being stateless means not having a passport from any state, not being a citizen of any state, and honestly, unless someone is living in hiding, it would be pretty hard for any person in the media to be stateless. Anyways, let's not forget that this video is based on theories and my opinions and should not be considered facts. That's it for this video. Guys,